Ahola, Damir. I'm sorry, that's the only Croatian word I know, so I have to switch to English. So thank you, Damir, for having me. I'm Tino Vazquez, and I'm part of the OpenNebula team. I'm going to try to explain what OpenNebula is in this short presentation. So first, I'm going to focus about the technology. What's OpenNebula under the technology point of view? So basically, OpenNebula is a cloud management platform. That means that it's a tool that manages the physical resources of our infrastructure, being that storage, networking, and virtualization, of course, to build a virtualized layer on top of the physical resources to be able to run services in cloud computing infrastructure with the flexibility that the paradigm gives to the administrator. So OpenNebula does this in a simple, flexible, robust, and powerful manner. Okay, so under the point of view of the project, OpenNebula started in 2005 as a research project in the University Complutense of Madrid. And after years of research under European research programs like FP7 projects like Reservoir or Bonfire, OpenNebula became a robust platform for delivering private clouds to several users. In 2010, we got our breakthrough production deployment in the CERN in Switzerland with 16,000 VMs. And so a company called C12G was born to give professional services and support to OpenNebula deployments. In 2012, C12G got his first reference customer with 200,000 VMs. And after that, as a company, it focused on the community with events like the Technology Days and also the OpenNebula conference that happened in Berlin last year and will happen again in December this year. For the near future, we have new hybrid cloud partners with people from IBM and Microsoft to integrate OpenNebula with SoftLayer and Windows Azure to be able to outsource virtual machines from private infrastructure to public cloud providers. Okay, so under the point of view of the community, OpenNebula, it's an open source project. Everything is released under Apache version 2 license. So the community of users help us by giving us feedback, contribute new experience, and also it's very valuable to help as an entry point to new users under the community tools like the mailing list and also Twitter and all the social media. And at the point of view of development, all the OpenNebula project development is done publicly in a transparent process, and the users also help us to define the roadmap. So you can say that OpenNebula is user-driven, so the roadmap is defined by its users. Also, under the point of view of integration, third-party developers are able to contribute extensions to OpenNebula, not maybe in the OpenNebula main distribution, but through the add-ons catalog or the ecosystem. And as I say, as a community, there's also lots of events about OpenNebula all over the world with user groups, the Cloud Technology Days that we had two in US the last month, and also the International OpenNebula Conf. Okay, so what's the vision of OpenNebula? How it's all designed? Well, unlike other open source cloud platforms that offer you a wider range of components that you have to mix and match to create your own cloud infrastructure, OpenNebula, it's a single product easily installable and configurable, so that you are able to run your cloud with only a set of documentation and one single package. Okay, so unlike other projects, you have just one component, and basically with that component you can manage all the aspects of your cloud infrastructure. So our core principles are flexibility, openness, simplicity, and reliability. With that, we created an open source management platform to automate and orchestrate the existing process of an IT infrastructure. So we did not reinvent the wheel. We don't want to break apart from the traditional data centers, but we just see the enterprise private cloud as an evolution of the existing data center virtualization. So these principles, what do they mean for us? So simplicity means that you don't need a whole bunch of system administrators to run your cloud. It's simple because it's simple to install, simple to configure, and simple to use. Openness, it means that it's production-ready software, but it's fully open source, so you don't get into vendor locking when you run your cloud based on OpenNebula. It's reliable. It means that you can run an OpenNebula cloud with little assistance for years. And it's flexible, which means that all the OpenNebula architecture is plugin oriented, so you can easily build your cloud around your existing components. You don't have to create new components in your cloud, but you can use what you already have to build it. Okay, so one of the most important part of the OpenNebula project are its users. We've seen a steady growth since we first got our technology preview out in 2008. And this graph just shows the downloads from our web page. But of course, we already are in the major Linux distributions, so that those downloads we don't control, so we don't really know what's the user base of OpenNebula, and it's probably larger than we think. One of the most relevant OpenNebula users come from many different fields. You have users from the telecom industry, like China Mobile or BlackBerry, also from the research institutions like SARA, CERN, or NASA, and also people from the hosting world, like BitNL, or of course, Avalon. So the company behind OpenNebula, it's called C12G. I know it's a hell of a name. It means cloud computing. You pick the C, you pick the G. You count the 12 letters. It's C12G, so now you know where it comes from. So C12G is a company created to give support to OpenNebula deployments. It's a company that has virtualization and EAS cloud computing in its DNA. It's a traditional open source company, so it basically provides a legal background for the OpenNebula project, and it leads the OpenNebula project activities, like defining the roadmap with the help of the users. In the product portfolio of the company, we offer a support subscription with different types of SLAs, depending on what's your production type of infrastructure. And also we offer professional services to design your cloud and also adapt OpenNebula to your special needs. We also have a special program called the Fund a Feature program that is designed for companies that want to pay for features and then contribute it back to the community. Okay, so thanks everyone for listening. And
Thank you, Tino.